They told you Gunther was untouchable. They told you nobody on that roster had the guts, the fire, or the pure insanity to walk up to the ring general and make him bleed. Every single week, you watched Gunther stand in that ring like a Roman emperor, chest out, chin up, looking down at every single person in that locker room like they were beneath him. The announcers treated him like a god. The writers protected him like he was made of glass. And the WWE Universe? Half of you started to believe it. You started to think, maybe Gunther really is on another level. Maybe nobody can touch him. And then Seth Rollins happened. And if you are not furious right now, if your jaw is not on the floor, then you clearly didn't watch what went down on Raw. Because what Seth Rollins did to Gunther on Monday night wasn't just an attack. It wasn't just a brawl. It was a statement. It was a declaration. It was one man looking at the biggest, most protected, most arrogant champion on the entire roster and saying, I am going to take everything from you. Stay with me. Because this gets so much wilder than you think. And by the end of this video, you are going to be asking yourself why it took this long and whether WWE can ever put that bell back in the bottle. Segment 1: Setting the Scene. Let's go back. Let's set the table so you understand the full weight of what happened on Raw. Gunther had been on an absolute warpath. The man has been operating on a level of pure dominance that we haven't seen in years. He walks out to that ring and the crowd doesn't know whether to boo him or bow to him. He's that good. He's that commanding. And his whole persona, the stoic, cold, calculated ring general, has been built on the idea that he cannot be rattled. He cannot be broken. He is a machine. And Seth Rollins? Seth has been slowly, quietly, dangerously building his own fire for weeks. If you've been paying attention, and let's be honest, the casual fans were sleeping on this, you could feel it coming. Every promo Seth cut had a little more venom in it. Every match he had, he was a little more reckless, a little more unhinged. The visionary was turning into something else entirely. Something more like a man who had absolutely nothing left to lose. The segment started innocuously enough. Gunther was in the ring, doing what Gunther does, commanding the space, demanding respect, making everyone around him feel small. He was mid-promo, talking about legacy, about dominance, about how no one in that building was worthy of sharing a ring with him. The crowd was buzzing. Some boos. Some awe. The usual cocktail when Gunther speaks. And then the music hit. Segment 2: The Attack. That unmistakable beat dropped and the entire arena erupted. Seth Rollins walked out, but not the way he usually does. No pyro theatrics. No spinning. No playing to the crowd. He walked down that ramp with his eyes locked on Gunther and his jaw set like stone. If you watch the footage back, you can see the exact moment the crowd realized this wasn't a promo confrontation. This was something real. Something different. Seth slid into the ring and got right in Gunther's face. And for a second, just a second, Gunther smirked. Because that's what Gunther does. He smirks at you. He looks at you like you're a child. He waited for Seth to start talking, expecting another war of words, another verbal chess match where he could use his composure as a weapon. Seth didn't say a word. He drilled Gunther with a forearm so hard that the ring general stumbled backward into the ropes. The crowd exploded. And before Gunther could even process what happened, Seth was on him, stomping, hammering, moving with the kind of frantic, furious energy that you simply cannot gameplan against. This wasn't a choreographed attack. This was chaos. This was a man who had been holding back a dam of rage for months and finally let it burst. Gunther tried to reset. He grabbed Seth, shoved him back, tried to use that incredible size and strength to create distance. And for a moment it worked. Gunther got his footing, got his hands up, and you could see him mentally switching from promo mode to fight mode. The smirk was gone. In its place, something we almost never see from Gunther. Surprise. Genuine, undeniable surprise. Seth didn't give him a moment to breathe. He came back in with a running knee that caught Gunther clean on the jaw and sent the big man crashing into the corner. The crowd was absolutely unglued. Security started rushing down to the ringside area. Producers were losing their minds at gorilla position. And through all of it, Seth was screaming not words, just pure, primal sound as he continued to unload on a man who had never looked this vulnerable in his entire WWE career. Then came the moment that nobody saw coming. Seth grabbed Gunther by the back of the head, dragged him to the middle of that ring, and hit the curb stomp, but not the way he normally does it. This was vicious. This was personal. He held Gunther's head down for a moment longer than necessary, just standing over him, breathing hard, looking down at the ring general who was face first on the canvas. The arena went silent. Then it went insane. Segment 3: The Aftermath and What It Means. Now here's where we need to talk. Because this attack isn't just a cool moment. This is potentially one of the most significant storyline shifts in recent WWE history, and I don't think people are fully grasping the implications yet. Gunther has been presented as essentially unbeatable. His losses are rare, carefully protected, and always come with asterisks. He doesn't get destroyed. He doesn't get caught off guard. He doesn't end segments face down on the mat with the crowd chanting someone else's name over his fallen body. That is not the Gunther experience. That has never been the Gunther experience. Until now. What Seth Rollins did was something that the entire WWE roster has been terrified to do. He cracked the armor. He showed the entire locker room, the entire universe, that Gunther can be gotten to. He can be hurt. He can be made to look human. And in pro wrestling, once that illusion is shattered, it is incredibly hard to rebuild. The mystique, the aura, the invincibility, it takes years to construct, and it can collapse in 3 minutes of television. But here's the flip side, and this is what makes this so fascinating from a storytelling perspective. Gunther being made to look vulnerable doesn't necessarily hurt him long term. In fact, it might be the best thing that could happen to him. Because right now, the Gunther character needs a nemesis. He needs someone who makes him feel what everyone else feels when they step in the ring with the ring general. He needs someone who can genuinely threaten him. And Seth Rollins is exactly that person. Think about it. Think about what a full-blown, pay-per-view level feud between these two could look like. Seth's unhinged, high-flying, never-say-die style against Gunther's suffocating, methodical, physically dominant approach. Fire versus ice. Chaos versus control. A man with nothing to lose versus a man who has everything to protect. This writes itself. Segment for the bigger picture. But let's take it even further. Let's talk about why Seth Rollins specifically is the right person to do this and why this moment landed as hard as it did. Seth Rollins is, without question, one of the most complete performers in WWE history. The man can do everything. He can work a technical masterpiece. He can do a brawl. He can cut a promo that makes you feel something real. He can make any opponent look like a star while also making himself look like the biggest star in the room. He has that rare, intangible quality where everything he does feels important. Every match, every promo, every moment, it all carries weight. And he has history with intensity. Seth knows what it means to carry a show. He's been the guy. He's been the champion. He's been the villain and the hero and everything in between. He has layers that most performers simply don't have. Now put that man in a blood feud with Gunther? That's not just a good match. That's a potential classic feud. That's something you look back on years from now and say, that was the moment everything changed. That's the kind of rivalry that makes careers, not just elevates them, but defines them. And the fans felt it. You could hear it in that arena. The reaction to Seth's attack wasn't just excitement. It was relief. It was the WWE Universe collectively exhaling and saying, yes, finally, someone is doing something about this man. And that emotional release is gold. That's the kind of connection that makes people tune in week after week. That's what keeps a show alive. Segment 5: The Controversy. Now I know some of you are going to come into the comments, and please do come into the comments. I want to hear from you and say that this was too much, too soon. That Gunther shouldn't have been made to look this vulnerable this early. That WWE jumped the gun and peaked the feud before it even officially started. And I hear you. That's a valid concern. WWE has a history of giving away the best moments in the build rather than saving them for the payoff. We've seen dream matches burn hot and then fizzle because the creative team didn't know how to pace the story. If this attack leads to a one-and-done match at the next premium live event that gets 30 minutes and then the feud just ends, then yeah, this will have been a waste. But I don't think that's where this is going. And here's why I believe that. The attack was too deliberate, too specific. The way it was filmed, the way it was positioned in the show, the reactions from the commentary team, this was clearly a top priority storyline being launched with intention. This wasn't a filler segment. This wasn't a random brawl to fill time. This was WWE saying, we are building towards something big, and we want you to feel it from the very first moment. That gives me hope. That tells me the people making decisions understand what they have here. Seth Rollins vs. Gunther is a main event story for a major show, WrestleMania level, if done right. And if WWE is smart enough to pace this properly, to let it breathe, to let the hatred between these two men grow before the inevitable collision, oh man, we might be looking at one of the great feuds of this generation. Segment 6: Call to Action / Close. So here's what I need from you right now. I need you to drop a comment below right now, before you do anything else, and tell me, was Seth Rollins justified in doing what he did? Or did he go too far? Because the internet is split on this, and I want to know where Ring Rumble 1's army stands. I need you to share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Because this is a conversation that needs to be had. This is a moment that deserves to be discussed. And your friends who used to watch WWE, the ones who drifted away, this is exactly the kind of moment that pulls them back in. Send them this video. Bring them back to the fold. And if you have not subscribed to Ring Rumble 1 yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell. Because moments like this happen every week in WWE, and I am here covering every single one of them with the depth and the passion that this product deserves. Seth Rollins just declared war on the ring general. Gunther is going to respond. And when he does, we'll be right here. Don't miss it.